and on behalf all of you can be rest assured that the meet today is going to be an amazing confluence of views from an Indian expert and an international expert on pregnancy management. So ladies and gentlemen, without any further ado, I would like to take the honor, the pride and the privilege of introducing our international expert for the meet today. Our international expert for the meet today is Professor Dr. Janizani, and I'm sure all of you can see him on the screen. We welcome you, sir. So Professor is the former professor and director of the Department of Obstetrics and Gynecology of the University of Pisa. He's the president of the International Society of Gynecological Endocrinology, the president of the European Society of Gynecology, the Secretary General of the International Academy of Human Reproduction, the editor-in-chief of Gynecological and Reproductive Endocrinology and Metabolism, the past president of the International Menopause Society, the fellow of the Royal College of Obs and Gynae, and also the American College of Obs and Gynae. He's also been the associate editor and past editor-in-chief of Gynecological Endocrinology. He's got a number of publications to his credit. And when I say number, it's more than 800 papers in peer-reviewed journals. And he's also been the editor of more than 52 books. So it's an absolute honor to have you amongst us today. We welcome you once again, sir. Thank you, sir. To start the day going and to start the meet going, I would first now like to introduce our Indian expert for the meeting today. And I'm sure many of you who've logged on to the meeting already know Dr. Manish Pandya. Sir is the professor and head of department at the Scientific Research Institute. We welcome you, sir. Sir has a number of special awards and achievements to his credit. He's been awarded as the Dynamic Indian of the Millennium by the KG Foundation. The Gynac Excellence Award has been given to him by Foxy in 2020. The IESRF titled him as the Commendable Editor-in-Chief. His very own coveted center has been recognized by CPS for 4 DGO seats. A total of 49 residents have been trained under him and 5 are still doing residency. The NARCHI has recognized 2 seats each for the DGO, DCH, DRCH, and DFW. He's also a Foxy recognized center for ART, IVF, and even the sonography, ultrasound training. Sir has a number of publications to his credit in national and international journals, and even has contributions of chapters in 8 prestigious books. Sir has been a speaker at more than 500 national and international conference presentation. So with great honor, welcome you, sir, for the meeting. The floor is all yours, sir. Over to you.
Thank you. Good evening, Rohita. Good afternoon, Professor. First, I would like to thank Abbott International for giving me opportunity to share my views. Here I am sharing my screen. Is my screen visible, madam? Content are sharing? Yes, it is visible. Now I am going in my presentation. You can see the first slide, madam. Hello?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So good evening, everybody. Thank you for very kind words, Dr. Rohita. These are some of my credentials. How beautifully everything is arranged by Almighty, that as soon as child enters this world, it finds mother ready to take care of it. With lots of mother's blessing, 3 books written by us is recommended as our reading material in Royal College. The Atlas of Fetal Echocardiography and the Technique of IVF Midzi has gone for 2nd edition. I am editor-in-chief of Indian Journal of Obstetrics and Gynecology and associate editor in Open Access Journal in Obstetrics and Gynecology. Today, we are going to discuss something regarding the prognosis of couple. I am just hiding one option. Yes, this is hide. Sorry for this technical hinge. The prognosis of couple with pregnancy loss. In my presentation, I would like to cover what is early pregnancy loss. Most important thing is tender loving care in early pregnancy and little bit of key message. What we mean by early pregnancy loss is very common. Those who had logged in as a gynecologist or infertility specialist, they have got their patients coming regularly of miscarriages. So many times they are coming in OPD, say they have got all the symptoms, my pregnancy test is positive, one line is very dark and one line is very faint, but even though I don't conceive and I have got periods. Each menstrual cycle yields conception up to 30% of time. When it doesn't conceive, menses comes and the infertility specialist says that uterus is crying in red tears. Out of that 30% of pregnancy, only 50% can survive and another 50% can go for miscarriage. So many times pregnancy conceived prior to implantation and we have got miscarriage, and these all are unrecognized pregnancy. But if once there is implantation, the rate of pregnancy loss decreases tremendously, 15 to 20% by 4 to 6 weeks, and by luck, by chance, she goes for 10 to 13 weeks, then only 2.3% of patient goes for miscarriage. Surprisingly, 25% of couple attempting pregnancy experience at least one sporadic miscarriage. If we say the incidence over globally and Indian scenario, RPL affects almost 2 to 5% of couple globally, while in India, we have got 15 to 25% of pregnancy going for early pregnancy loss or miscarriage. Nearly 80% of all this pregnancy loss causes within the first trimester. Spontaneous miscarriage is 10 to 32% and higher in Indian women compared to Western world. So we have to discuss this thing a lot with Professor, and we will learn maximum things from Professor Janazan. If you look at the definition of recurrent pregnancy loss, it differs among the society. We always know there is a tug of war between European society and American society. ASHRAE and RCOG define RPL as 3 consecutive pregnancy loss, including non-visualized one, while American Society of Reproductive Medicine defines 2 or more clinical pregnancy losses documented either by ultrasound or histopathological examination, but not necessarily consecutive. And they had said definitely. In 2017, ASHRAE has given a definition of primary as well as secondary RPL. Primary RPL is described as a recurrent pregnancy loss without a previous ongoing viable pregnancy beyond 24 weeks of gestation. What we call as a secondary RPL, when there is an episode of RPL after one or more previous pregnancy beyond 24 weeks of gestation. So once he conceived, but it is not going beyond the age of viability, we can consider is a secondary pregnancy loss or secondary RPL. What about the recurrent pregnancy loss etiology? Currently, there is a small number of accepted etiology for recurrent pregnancy loss, including we have parental chromosomal abnormality, untreated hypothyroidism, uncontrolled diabetes mellitus, anatomical abnormalities, and antiphospholipid antibody syndrome. Other probable or possible etiology include additional endocrine disorder, heritable or acquired thrombophilias, immunological abnormality, infection, we all know, torch, and environmental factors. There is a strong component of genetic factor of 2 to 5%, such as cystic fibrosis, sickle cell anemia, and seldom considered to be 10 to 15%. And in my institute, we are doing hysteroscopic resection, and all patients enjoying near-term normal pregnancy with